Welcome to this strange life with jokes, GD.
I'm trying to tell these guys to get to it. Do you know what I mean? But
all right.
It is. If we're going to start this podcast, I've been asked a lot of all these questions, like, well, are you ready for this? Are we going to wing this? But the question I'm really struggling with is, where's the dick on a Minotaur? It's, you know what I mean? Where do you put it? Do you put it at the front? Do you put it at the back? It's just one of those things.
What a Minotaur's an upright. What's a Minotaur?
Do you put? You asking me what a Minotaur is?
Yeah,
it's a half man,
a minotaur.
Right?
It's a man with a horse at the back of him. So do you put the dick there, or do you put it there? You know what I mean? It's a weird question to ask, isn't it?
Have you seen that family? There's a Family Guy.
Minotaurs are Bill.
Oh, what about Lou Ferrago over here? What do you reckon, Lou?
Well, Lou.
That's you, Jordan.
Ferrago.
Oh, that's me. That's me.
Yeah. Don't piss him off, man.
I actually got a minotaur on my arm, and he's dickless. So if that answers your question,
really?
there.
That's brilliant.
For real, is that a genuine fucking minotaur in your arm?
Have you seen the Family Guy sketch where Peter Griffin? Peter Griffin's at the front half and he says, "What? Swap these legs or something?" It's fucking brilliant.
Yeah, it's a great sketch. It's a brilliant sketch.
Oh,
well,
love it.
Right. So I'm here.
So I hear Mr. Gold. What do we address you as, Mr. Goldie? Goldie?
I don't know, just
Anything.
Goldie's
All right,
fine.
Mr. Goldie. All right, mate. So what we hear that you've got a lovely house down in Phuket. Our contacts are telling us. I'm joking. We don't really have contacts. Yeah, that you have a great house and a lovely place down there. What brought you here? How long have you been here?
I've been coming here for 10 years. I met the wife in Shanghai, and I just decided, I just came here. We came here for Christmas. We were dating, and we came here, and I just thought, wow. And I was toying between we always wanted to build a house, so we kind of she was working for a lot of for a lot of big companies down here. So we started the company, and we got the plot of land, because you can't really own the land, so to speak, but the company does. And they're really quite wealthy ties, so we don't have to go through all this stuff where we jump through hoops and all that stuff. I can't deal with it.
Contacts.
And we just tried to build this wonderful house, and became a bit of a labour of love. And I built this. I kind of reproduced the studio and the live room because of the studio I had in Hertfordshire, and I came to retire. That kind of went out of bloody window. Just really went out of the window. It was a bit of a bad plan, and I ended up getting, just really knuckling down. But it was good because it was no distractions. It just became just less of just, you know what I mean, having to have awkward conversations at the cheese counter at Waitrose, which was becoming annoying, and getting really great parking fines for just, going 1 minute over while someone swoops down to attack you in Wardour Street or anywhere where there was a line, and I just got so sick of it, of that kind of, being in the city, really.
I can't imagine Goldie with the pipe and slippers. Can you, like?
Me,
tired with his pipe and slippers.
Believe me, I knew it was game over when when this old couple came at the cheese going, "You're really good on Maestro." I thought, inner city life, out the window straight away. I'm buying cheese at the cheese counter. Game over. Get out.
That's brilliant.
But yeah, so I've just been, it's great because no one knows me here, which is brilliant because you haven't got to deal with, it's like I remember being at the airport. I was in London City Airport, and this kid runs over, and I'm like, this kid runs over and goes, "Oh my God, you got a pen?" I'm like, "Yeah," and I get the pen. He just takes the pen and runs off. His mom just wanted a pen to write a number down. It's like, the fame's gone.
Yeah. Secretly,
and I just thought, it's time to get out, mate. And being here, just reinventing has been brilliant because I practice here a lot, and I built the studio and the yoga place, and then just.
What desk have you got in there, Goldie?
I don't know, but it's all inboard, mate. Oh, what's that, the desk?
Yeah. Mixing desk, or is it? You're on the computer now.
The window, mate. It's all in board. It's all on board now.
Yeah. Okay, that's what.
My last mixing desk I sold to Marcus before he died. He's got the last desk I had. I had that JP 9000 for a while. That was a beast. And I've still got the rack mounts here. Though. I've still got the ultra harmonized, the vintage keys, the old YMK as well. Got a lot of outboard here.
Do you use Ableton?
No, it's Logic X really for
okay.
us. Logic, and that's really what we've been using from the beginning, really, for all the projects we do here.
Yeah.
And it just works a lot better. I mean, Mr. Miller's been working on Ableton for years. He's been on that all over that. So when it comes to doing the mixes or DJ stuff, putting that stuff together, it's really easy with his properties. It's always been brilliant. And yeah, it's just been great. I mean, we've done 5 albums here, which has been amazing. Natalie's album, Subjective 1, Subjective 2, we've finished here. Subjective 3 is done.
Uh,
Of course, the artists will love coming over here, Goldie, right?
Well, they're trying to bum rush. Yeah, I mean, that's what's happened. Natalie came and spent it was supposed to be 8 weeks. It ended up being a bit longer. And then, Echoes, we just saw this girl called Echoes, because we have a studio in Kuala Lumpur. So we have the setup in Kuala Lumpur, which is Fallen Tree 100. 100 is more the kind of commercial stuff, which I kind of stay away from. And there's a great producer called Curly who's doing some amazing stuff there. And I've got access to all these great string players from Kuala Lumpur, which is dirt cheap. So that's great. So the live room there and the Steinway and all that stuff and all the bells and whistles. So we'll just go there and then come back here, and I'll just get me nut down here and do stuff. So me and James did we started the first album we did. It was Journeyman. We did it here, did it all in his room, and then just mixed the vocals in a tile yard at the time, which is no longer. And that was that really, which is good fun. But we've done everything here. It's been brilliant. I mean, I sent him packing on the last plane back to England, which was
before the.
Back in Portland now. Yeah, my old engineer, my old co-P.
Are you working with many? Are you working with many ties, Goldie? Sorry, Paul. Are you working with many ties?
I mean, no, it's just I just I'm in a bubble here, and I think that some of the guys that are doing their thing, I'm kind of. I know it sounds really weird, but it's just a bit 80s for me. I'm just I mean, I run everything from here. Anthony's in Samui, the label manager, so Anthony's doing his thing in Samui. We've just got the comics album in today, which George is working on. I mean, there's some amazing projects. I don't know if you're not familiar with the label, but there's some amazing albums that are coming out on the label this year, which we've got, which are just I'm super happy with. And just doing writing the bloody script for the last 2 years. A guy called Dan Cadan, Dan Cadan? Dan Cadan. Dan Cadan. Snatch rock and roller.
Right.
He wrote those with Guy, and we've been writing Cine Tempore for the last 2 years, which has been madness and good fun. So what else? I mean, what is it think about? That's my day.
I was going to ask you, do you do any work when you're in Bangkok? Do you do any studio work or jump into any studios when you get here?
No. I'm a bit like the Victor Meldrew of studio work. I don't really get involved with anyone. I've been doing my own thing for years. I work with the people on the label, the artists on a daily basis, getting their projects together. Guy called, that's all I do really. Bangkok is really the gallery. That's kind of why I came here, was to really, I want to make a gallery and I want to own the gallery and I want to curate it and put all of my people in there, and some of the local guys like Walchiri Chisikal, who's an amazing artist, who's an amazing toy artist, P7. I mean, they're guys that are kind of known in Bangkok anyway, but I'm just kind of tweaking them on their work, trying to get stuff out of them that they might not necessarily thought about. Like that Jex kid, I did the train, there's that gold leaf train we did, which is really interesting. So the gallery is at Aurum Art Gallery, which is in the centre of Churung Krung. Are you guys familiar? Are you in Bangkok? Where are you guys?
Yeah. I'm in just near Terminal 21.
The gallery, by the way. Have you been down?
No, but we're gonna, and we want to promote it here, and we're gonna go there for sure.
I mean, we were like 4 weeks, before COVID's kicking off, and we're like, should we pull the plug? And we went, you know what? No, because the difference with my partner, as my investor and my partner, when it's solid, is that the deal was, we've got to do everything above board here. And you know what it's like living in China. You get to the Thai way. You've got to import everything. You're going to pay the tax on it. and nobody wants to pay the tax on it. So all the people that are in that gallery, 80% of those people have never shown in Bangkok. You know, you've never had Vils here. You've never had Vils came here in 2013 and did the Portuguese embassy, which is around the corner. Ironically, you know, so talk about serendipity. And you know, Berlin's never been here. You know, Crash, Bio, those guys from New York, Nick Walker, none of those guys have been here. In that, they all go to Hong Kong. It's like, oh, Hong Kong. And I thought, yeah, I know it sounds really weird. I don't know it. I probably don't know Bangkok as much as you guys, but I don't really care. I think the idea of going in there, not with a certain blindness, going in there with a kind of opinion of, it's a little bit like Brooklyn, that area. It reminds me of when Brooklyn or Shoreditch started. It was kind of like getting busy in a very creative district, and it is starting. I think it is kind of starting to happen there.
Yeah, I mean, the street art around Bangkok is amazing, and we know a couple of guys. Our friend Robin's a really good artist. He's fantastic, and he does the odd show. In fact, we'll have to put him in touch with Goldie. He'd love that. He's really good. In fact, there he is behind me. But,
okay, cool.
There's some in the other room as well. Yeah, I'll have to show you.
Yeah, I mean, look, man, the doors are always open. I mean, we have a workshop in there that I said, if we're gonna have a gallery, let's not make it clinical. I want a workshop with extractors so that we have a working space so people can go in there and paint. And there's painting there. And if a guy comes to me and goes, "Here's me piece book, man," and like, check this out, and it's banging, and I'm like, "Have you got any?" Well, I ain't got any paint. Well, you are. Crack in there, man. Crack on.
Oh, that
you know
sounds.
I mean, as long as it's Mickey Mouse, you know, holding a bag of dollar signs again, I'm all right with that. But it's early doors. I mean, you know, Bourgeois was way active doing stuff with artists in Bangkok way before we were. He's been doing stuff for years. You know, they've got a lot of people doing stuff. I just live in Phuket, and my partner says he's always wanted a gallery, and I'm like, let's just do it. The thing that I got from what happened when people went in there is, Jesus Christ, the space. Well, I kind of wanted a big space because, you know, I'm kind of fed up with shoebox contemporary galleries. It's a little bit kind of. And I think art needs to breathe like anything. It's like, you know.
Is it a warehouse then, is it, or something? Or just an old.
Warehouses, yeah. It's warehouse dirty. There's a whole strip of, you know, a long strip of warehouses, and one's like a cafe, and one's a really wicked thrifty store. One's kind of like, and there's another gallery which is 4 doors down. The guy's amazing Thai classical art and some contemporary stuff which is different. And I think, you know, our attitude towards it is more the merrier, because it's like any area that blows up. When Shoreditch first started, it was only Blue Note on a Sunday afternoon, Eddie Pillar, and it was, you on a Sunday night, you just get searched coming into Shoreditch because, where you going? Going to Blue Note? Oh, yeah, there you are. All right, 10 your pockets out. And then it just blew up, and then it's kind of, now it's like the hub. More people go to Shoreditch than they go to Central London. Do you know what I mean?
I saw a chick today. Paul, just quickly, I saw a chick today on the BTS. Sorry, girl, chick on the BTS who had a Keith Haring top on. You know, with the sort of little people on the back. It was really cool, actually. So I think Thais are quite clued up on. Well, a lot of the younger ones specifically are quite clued up on some of the contemporary stuff.
I mean, I think you picked the right area as well, man. I mean, like, Bangkok's got these little pockets, little areas where there's lots of street art, lots of kind of graffiti and stuff hidden away. But Charing Cross Road, especially in like the last, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years, has become like a real hotspot for kind of underground stuff. And you're bang in the heart of it, man. It's a great area, so definitely work an area.
Well, we've searched a long time. You know, it was kind of like, they were talking about Thong Law, and I'm like, mate, I am not going to Thong Law. There's no way I'm going to put a gallery in Thong Law, mate.
All the hipsters.
You know what I mean? I'm just not doing it.
Pain through the nose.
Get a contingency that we don't have to sell anything for, like, you know, a year. And I mean, that, you know, that's a big, for us, you talk about strange life. I mean, I've had a very strange one. I thought the idea of having this place, which is museum-like, you know, I just finished the Sky Arts documentary, which is bloody good fun.
Right.
And Mode 2, you know, 3D for Massive. Had a great time painting with the boys from New York. Went down to Miami, did the whole kind of Wynwood waltzing, which was brilliant. You know, I hadn't painted with the boys for a while. And it was like we were cracking them off yesterday at the barbecue. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that was really, really good fun. And of course, you know, there was Berlin and Saturno. And of course, this guy's, mate, listen, Bangkok, you're in. And I've gone, let's do it. You know, and they've grown up on Metalhead's music, which is good fun. So, you know, they just came in and, you know, originally the plan was that Saturno was coming in and we were going to paint the train. I mean, the train is an installation. So the idea, first it was first it was Odith was going to come into one corner and me and Saturno were going to do the train. And of course, lockdown, bam, he had to move from LA back to Spain and it's like, But the train's there and, you know, hopefully we'll be able to get other artists to come and paint it. You know?
Yeah, the train looks amazing, man. I've seen loads of, like I say, I haven't been to the gallery myself, but I've seen loads of images of it, and it looks amazing, man. And you know, you said like no one kind of knows you right now, but like I don't think it'll be long, man. Like your gallery's getting a hell of a write up. Loads of people are talking about it. Loads of people I know are on about it. It's going to be a
Well,
big
that's
hit
nice
for
to
sure.
know. I mean, to be honest, you know, I have this real thing about people going, well, he's a fucking handful to deal with. I think it's just, there's no grey area. I just think when you know, like, just get on with it, man. Get your head down. Like, you know, I say to these artists, there's not a day I don't get up and just get on with the art. And I'm not going to mince my words over. When people start talking shit about it, I'm like, get the fuck out of my face. I want to work. I want to get my head down. New artists coming up, and that's what I love about that place is that if you put your ear to the ground too many times, you get trampled, mate. You just got to get on with it.
Yeah.
And I think the vision of it, you know, it's just all this in your ears. Just get the fuck into it and
procrastination, man. It's like I do it all the time, man. It's just you just got to get on with it.
Killer, mate. It's the biggest killer, and I think you know this gallery space is exactly what it is. It's a wonderful space, and you know we've had some even with the Sky Arts doc, we were supposed to end up filming there to end the documentary, and in the end we didn't really need it, to be honest, because you know we've got this amazing vision of what we wanted to do, and you know I think that the areas, the timing's kind of cool, and what's really mad about it is that people go, oh my god, it's massive, but we've actually got enough art to fill it again, because we decided that if we're going to go and do this, you know, I wanted to buy collections. The only artist that was difficult to get, which was a problem, he got stuck in bloody Italy, was Mode too, and I mean he's always been my hero. You know, Mode's been one of those guys that, you know, when you speak to Jex, who's his kid I paid the train with, and he's got his characters going on, and you show him Mode 2's work, and he's never heard of Mode 2, and it's brilliant because they've got their whole other thing going on where they don't know. I mean, it's like my daughter doesn't know Michael Jackson. Do you know what I mean? Maybe you don't want. I don't want you to know Michael Jackson right now, anyway. But the idea of these artists that have self-taught, which is what I love about the culture.
Yeah.
What can I say?
That's right. Yeah, they're not classically trained, are they? Sorry, Paul.
Nah.
With your with your background, man, like you know, before music, you were obviously kind of starting up with graffiti, right? You came from kind of that scene, making art and creating graffiti. And did you have you brought any of the guys that you worked with years ago from that scene, from when you first started? Have you brought any of them on board with the gallery, or is there any of that stuff?
Well, yeah, I mean, right there. I mean, Bio Crash, you know, but Bio was the first guy when Brim first came to England and went to Shaw Theatre. I met Africa Mambada and Brim. The second time he came, he bought Bio. We went to Wolverhampton and filmed Bombing. I mean, Bombing's 36 years old now, right? I mean, I'm like 36 years old. I've got a hair. It's brilliant. You know, I'm talking like from Goldie, Wolverhampton, like this Goldie, and like, you know, and I'm sitting there in Stanton's cake shop, and Bio's ripping up an outline, going, not good enough, mate. I'm like, you know, a C is a G, an F is an E, you know what I mean, an M is an N, and I'm like, and I've had to learn construction, and you know, I grew with Tats Crew and became part of Tats Crew. You know, and for me, when Brim first started that off with those boys, and now when you look at Tats and you look at how a Nozem from Germany kind of went to live in New York and they became part of it with Nick and those guys, you know, it's a really big heritage Tats Crew have got. Unknown here in Asia, but when you know, if you think about what the impacts they've had on my life, you know, me getting Bio's pieces in there and getting Nick's pieces in there, you know, it's like, yeah.
It's like full circle. You completed the circle, right? Almost.
Complete full circle.
Yeah.
You know, when you think, and that's really important that I've actually had that amount of time. And the thing about Tats is that they're just so humble, man. If you look at what Crash has done and how long he's been doing, he's probably one of the only artists that came from the kind of 80s graffiti that actually moved into contemporary way before any of us. Way. Even before the guys in New York. You know what I mean? After kind of Wild Style and all those movies that came out, Crash was the guy that really has transcended all of that time. You know, he's doing Eric Clapton guitars. I mean, they're going for like £500,000 now.
Right.
You know what I mean? I mean, you see the work he did with Eric Clapton and the stuff that he done, and you know, from way back then, and still be associated with Tats and be part of the crew is brilliant. So I've been there working there, and also the new people like Berlin, man. When you look at his work, you think, you know, photographs. I said to a kid the other day, walked into the gallery, man. He's like, man, you got to see it in real life. There's two things I've always worked with: art and music got compromised badly because we can all nick it and download it for niche, and all those little cottage industry people fall apart. You know, and we're trying to feed, you know, mouths to feed, but with art,
5 minutes, Goldie. 5 minutes. We've got. Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah. It's gone quick, right?
Just
It's gone quick, mate.
You won't fucking shut up. That's why.
Now we got 5 minutes on this version of Zoom. Are you cool for us to send you another link for another bit of time? Or?
To you guys, I'm like, I'll shoot the breeze, but maybe I'll just let you ask some questions and I'll give you one-liners.
But we'll drop you another link, man. We'll get a wee bit extra time with you so we can promote the gallery a bit more and hear a wee bit more. That's
Time
cool, man.
for a break.
Is that all right? So we'll break now. We'll send you another link and we'll have another 10 minutes.
Whatever you want to do, man.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Really appreciate
So,
that, Goldie. Thank you.
I'm sorry. You want to leave?
We'll sign off. Yeah, we'll send you a new link.
Do I get up and leave, or do I just?
You can. Yeah, and we'll put some music as you're walking out. We'll put it in slow motion. It's gone.
He's gone. Okay. All right. Jump out, guys. We'll send him another link. Yeah.
I love that guy. All right. Okay. Cheers.
How do I get out?
Do I
here?
send the link then?
Let me out.
Does it?
I want to go over the Minotaur thing.
I'm just trying to envision the Minotaur thing. I'm gonna. You saying I'm look like Bronson? I'm gonna cover myself in butter and just go out and start fighting everybody.
Yeah, but that will be another Family Guy scene where he tries to grab the sleepy guy.
Greased up deaf guy.
Nah, the best one, man, when he's fighting the chicken. He just keeps going back and fighting that big fucking chicken.
It's the ultimate fight.
That annoys me.
Really?
Amazing. Yeah.
Well, that's brilliant.
I'll tell you what's really cool though. I mean, Rick and Morty. I mean, I didn't really get last season as much as it didn't really hit me as much. But probably the best scene in that really was Little Bits. You ever see Little Bits? Have you ever seen Rick and Morty?
I haven't got into Rick and Morty yet, but I've seen a couple of episodes.
Rick and Morty, yeah.
Little Bits and Little Legs. There's a whole episode about a detective who's got baby legs, and they call him Baby Legs, and of course,
yeah.
Baby Legs. It's brilliant, isn't it?
Oh, really?
I mean, that for me is just quantum genius. Anyway,
Goldie, you played Back to Basics in Leeds, right? I'm from North Yorkshire, near Harrogate actually, but
I would never have gathered that, mate. Never.
Tight as a fucking duck's arse, yeah. So yeah,
Don't
you played
mention
Basics,
GPS.
right? A few times over the years. That's his wife.
Don't fucking I smash your face. Sorry.
On a podcast.
Sorry, Minotaur man.
Yeah. So you played Basics a few times, right? For Dave Beer and.
Oh God, yeah, Dave Beer. God.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I can remember it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Dave. You know, Dave Beer. There's a funny story about Dave Beer. Have you ever seen a tattoo on him? He's got a tattoo on his back calf.
No.
We were in Miami. He got absolutely hammered, and he went into a tattoo parlor and said he wanted the date of his son's birthday on his back calf leg, and I think it was 1975 or whatever it was. He gave it, anyway, he wanted it in Chinese to make it all kind of like special. And they did it in just these plain letters and actually put 1975, which got nothing to do with anything, in block letters on the back of his leg. So he's got a tattoo. He just woke up and he realised he's just got this mad tattoo for nothing, really. But Dave Beard, yeah, in any rave culture, I mean, Dave Beard's done it all, really.
Right, and he kept that place going for years. I mean, I think they've basically shut the doors now, apart from the odd party.
That and Chickaboo was pretty mental. Was it Chickaboo?
Yeah.
But
Cream.
you guys been here for a while. You've been living out here
7 years, me.
Yeah,
Okay.
6 years.
Okay, well,
2 years for me.
So you're okay. So I thought you were Thai, but you're American. You living here.
Yeah, I'm American.
Half Mexican, half Mexican.
Confusing me. You got a minotaur on your arm. You're confusing me. I don't know.
Yeah.
What is the premise of this strange fruit thing? What is
Oh, we talk about everything, don't we? So we
Yeah, there's no
had
real
David
premise, right?
Icon actually a few weeks ago, which was a real trip. And but mainly we just sit around and talk shit. We sometimes don't even have guests. It's just the four of us. There's another guy called James who's like a Bangkok noir author, a really cool guy, and we just sit and talk shit about vaginas and cocks and just bullshit. Really.
That's what I want to talk about today. I'm not really.
Yeah, right. Talking about vaginas, right? Jordan's missus is having a go at him, and mine doesn't want to jump on camera, so she's trying to be all quiet, and she's writing me little notes. Give me that. She's writing little notes. She's writing me little notes, right? Do you want me to cook for you and stuff? And she said, I don't know if you can see this, but she's just written me this one.
Can you fuck me tonight?
Oh wow!
My God.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
On a promise. Come on, let's get off this podcast. Come on, now.
Can we get some serious stuff going on here now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
All right.
Well,
So what about celebrity and shit then, Goldie? Are you like comfortable with that? 'Cause you've done just the celebrity, being a celebrity, because you've done like Strictly, like you say, right? Does that? I mean, obviously it pays the bills and shit, and it gives you a bit of freedom.
Dance. Sorry.
I know.
I've been there and I was wearing a hat very similar to yours actually. I think that might have been
That's because I'm balding, you see, so I just put it on just to cover it.
A hat like that. Mate, it doesn't bother me. I've come out the render it. I've done it all. It doesn't even quantum. I've done it all, so I'm all right with that. I'm great with it. You know what I mean? I am known as Phan Tong in Thailand, so that's all right. So Phan Tong, that's what I'm known as. It's Mr. Gold or whatever.
Oh right, yeah, of course, yeah. Fuck it.
Gold teeth, yeah.
That's it. Yeah. But no, I mean, I'm all right. It doesn't bother me, mate. It's just been done that.
Yeah. That's cool, man. Yeah, because I was watching an actors roundtable with Jim Carrey. Obviously, he's a megastar, and he just says, I don't give a shit now. I wake up every day. I talk to people. I don't suffer fools gladly, but also, if you stop and talk to me, I'll talk to you. And do you know, you won't remember me, but we saw each other in Zara, Goldie, probably about just before lockdown, actually. You won't remember me, but I said, "Hey, Goldie, how you doing?" Because you had your kid with you. I was going to ask you for a picture, but I didn't, because you had your kid with you. But you were really nice, man. You were really nice.
Yeah, but you see, why am I going to be a complete cunt? That's the thing.
Yeah, exactly. But it does get older. Some people like that, though, doesn't it?
It does. I think it used to be when we were mob-handed, we would go to a club and it would be the people around me that were the dicks.
Right, yeah.
And it would always be very defensive of like, you can't talk to me. It's just the entourage thing would be a little, and we had a lot of tear-ups. But you see, the tear-ups just end up costing you loads of watches because your watch comes off on a rebound and you start losing shit. You're thinking, you fucking dickhead, if you just keep your fucking, you know what I mean, keep your hands to yourself. And so we've had a lot of tear-ups and all that bollocks, and in the end, he just ended up getting like a club in the end, and I just thought, it's a bit of a mess now. I'm just done with that, and I just thought, the yoga for 12 years has been brilliant.
Yoga? Nice one.
Well, that's my thing. I've been doing hot yoga for 12 years now. Yeah. I started on the 21st of May, and I was in a bit of a bad way. I had a major operation on the leg. It was like one reality show too many. I think I was doing the games or something. We were doing it with loads of mad fucking celebs. I was paying for divorce. It was like mental.
Oh no.
And you go through it, and I always remember this old geezer in the courthouse going, I'm like, mate, he's fucking divorced. And there's all these people lining up, and you think they're all getting rinsed out. And he went, mate, this divorce shit's like getting your balls cut out through your wallet. And I'm like, yeah. And that was really, and I think what's great about that stuff is that when you go through all of that, and then you become the parody, and you become all this shit, and then you just reinvent. And to be honest, I think that, I'm 54, and I'm probably in the best shape of my life. I'm hiking every fucking other day. I did an 7K this morning up there in the mountains, up there, shimmy up, shimmy down, swim when you're at the top, come down and get on a bike. I'm keeping myself as active as I can. And
you see close to that waterfall up there, are you? Phuket?
No, you go. This where we are. I don't know exactly where we are, but there's these freshwater lakes at the top, and
Oh,
the thing you're talking about is a bit further over. We did that last week. It was a 16k. Smashed the granny out of that. Which was good.
Right.
And
But
I
you
just
feel good
thought,
after though, don't you? You feel like fucking awesome after like.
mate, feel awesome, mate. Yeah. So I never got into it, but I've just been really. There's a guy from New Zealand that's like, I don't know what he's made these Kiwis. They just like to walk. And we just started following him, and after the first 500 meters, I'm like, I'm out of breath, I want to go home. And then that was just been really good, and I just can't stop working, unfortunately.
You teetotal now?
Yeah, pretty
Not
much. I mean, we had a big one. I've got Samui in a couple of weeks. You know, the boys will get together and have a laugh. But to be honest, mate, I just kind of like, I think that with the yoga and everything else, what happens is your tolerance changes. And you just think it's like the raincoat that don't really fit anymore. You're like, you know what? It's fucking doesn't really fit me anymore. I just feel, it just doesn't bother me. I know it sounds really
Because you're in
weird,
tune
but
with your body, right? And any sort of foreign chemicals and shit that's going to come in there is going to really fuck with you, I think.
well, really, you could kind of get, you know. I went from vodka to sake, which is quite interesting. You think sake? What are you, German? German, going to eat and drinking sake. Things change. But I've been watching some, I've been watching some really good stuff, doing my own work. That the new Mark Ruffalo series, that 6 eps, probably one of the best things I've seen on television. Because television's shit, let's face it.
Yeah.
Really shit for a long time. And I think my mate's just completed Netflix. I mean, he did Pornhub first. He completed that. He completed Tinder in Bangkok, and then he completed Pornhub, and he completed Netflix. I'm like, there you go. What's it called? Mark Ruffalo. Do you want to Google it? Great series.
No,
It was us. What is it? It's a tricky one. It says, what's it called? It's called.
He's a good dude, though. I do like him. Mark Ruffalo.
Ruffalo,
Okay, here we go. Dark What? Spotlight of Enders.
No, that was the movie.
Yeah. Okay.
Of them ends in them.
TV shows. Here we go. I know this much is true.
It's true. There you go. Not to say them.
All right.
Yeah, I know this much is true. If you like really good plot and really, that's fucking one of the best things I've seen. The best I've seen.
Oh, it's a drama. Oh, fuck it. Right, okay. I thought it was a document. Right, okay, fuck.
Yeah, no, it's a drama. Yeah,
I love that guy, man. He's fucking great. He made the Hulk really good.
He plays identical twins.
Right.
Which is pretty. Yeah. I'll say no more.
Trip.
Right, someone give me something. Avoid shitless. Right, that's it. Someone give me something interesting.
So I had a question. I had a thought recently about why more people who get famous and earn a lot of money. If I were them and I had that money, I would also relocate to another part of the country, or in the world, like Thailand or things like that. What made you take that step? Because a lot of people don't take that step. They'd rather just stay in the United States or Britain. And you took that step to get outside of like that Western culture. What made you do that?
I just had enough for the cheese counter in Waitrose. No, I just, you know what I mean? You just had my fill of every minute someone wants to take something from you, or their prerogatives different, And I was getting the train from Hertfordshire into London on a daily basis to go and practice in London Bridge. And if anyone's familiar with London, going from like Tring, in Hertfordshire, and getting the train to Euston, and then getting the underground, and rush hour, to go and hit the 7 a.m. To hit the 7 a.m. So I'm up at I'm on the first train, right? And I'm going to practice. And then, people are like, mate, I don't want to bother you right now, because I know you're with you. I know you, I don't want to bother you right now. But do you mind if I just pull your pants down and just get a picture of you? Would you mind? And then you get, but then you get this one. This is the game best. You get this one going like this, and they go. And I just got look. Do you know what, mate? It's like that. When you crack elevator silence. Because I was a master at one point of cracking elevator silence. And I just go, excuse me, if you want to take a picture, you can just ask me, because I'm just here. And the other thing is that people talk about you like you've got no fucking ears. Like, sir. I saw him the other day, No, he's not, he is. That's what he does. He does that thing, doesn't he? That thing with the stretch the back in the yoga.
Really has got gold teeth.
I'm just here. I'm just here. You know, so that got, and I'm really glad because I'm saying really being passive. I'm well known, but I'm not like, I don't want to be, you know what I mean? Always said to Robbie Williams, I don't want to be Robbie famous because you imagine that fucking, you know, imagine what Johnny Depp's going through now, all that madness of being, like, so you can't do anything. And Joe Rogan summed it up. Joe Rogan turned around and goes, mate, when you start doing that stuff, and you know, I'll never do Blockbuster, that's what, obviously, the first quote. It's that thing of the arts. It's always whispering to you to kind of like, because I've never felt good enough to be doing anything. You know, you do a bit thing. You're like, people go, oh my god, you did this. My fucking what? EastEnders was only like 8 weeks of filming. That was it. But to everyone else, their world, it's like you did it for like 7 seasons for that. You know, it's just it just becomes something that it's not. And as soon as people started, you know, asking me on the train, and being like, you know, and I'm out with the missus for a night at theatre. We don't get much date nights. We get a little babysit. We go to London. We're on the train. You know what London's like. You got to get parking. NCP, that's a fucking 80 quid, you know. That fucking, you know, go and get a meal and sit down. And then you just get, you know, you just get a lot of bother. And I thought, and that's so, to answer your question, to reinvent, you know what I mean? I mean, the next thing will be, you know, next year I'll be deleting my account because I use it as a tool to take the piss and make people laugh. People go on my Instagram and go, oh my God, mate, it just made me fucking laugh so much. I mean, today I was at fucking, whatever you call it, the wholesale place with the fucking yellow fucking grapefruit thing on my head. Do you know what I mean? It's weird. You put something about, you know, Black Lives Matter and everyone goes like, well, it's like 5,000 views. But you put your cat fucking doing a backflip. It's, oh my God, 75,000 million people love this backflip. Yeah. You know, so the world's gone mad, and I think being here just slows down the madness.
That's right, yeah.
I think you're in the same boat as a lot of people, though, man. I mean, like, last time I went home, I went to this pub that I used to always go to, and I was like, yeah, I'll go somewhere familiar and have a drink and see if I know anyone that, you know, is kicking about. And I was standing outside having a cigarette, and like fucking everybody walking past looked miserable. It was grey. Everyone was a miserable cunt.
Low, doesn't it?
Yeah, and like, you know, the odd person that did recognise me would be like, oh yeah, Paul, what are you up to these days? Oh, well, I've been living in Thailand for the last 4 years. You know? Yeah, what about you? What have you been up to? Me and the missus want to go to Malaga, but can't afford it this year. She needs to buy a new Hoover. And it's like, fucking hell, that's so miserable, man. Like, fuck that. Like, you know,
them Hoovers don't pay for themselves, Paul.
I'm so glad I left, you know.
I guess the other thing is that when people say, they go, oh, you fucking really lucky. No, man, whoa. This is the one line that I actually despise. It's called chance and opportunity. You take them and you make them work, and they equal the luck. You know, because they weren't there when you sat outside the fucking club with your last 50 quid with the dub plate under your arm, waiting for fucking a DJ and just going, this groove right, oh, fuck, missed him. So you take the dub plate back home and it costs 50 quid, you go, wait till next week. You know what I mean? You just give it to him. You know what I mean? And then you don't get in the club for 2 weeks. And then you get in and he doesn't play it. And then you get another week and he play it, you know what I mean? So all that stuff, you know, it's a lot to go through as an artist. So you go through all that stuff that people don't see behind that stuff.
Slog, the grind, yeah.
So I have been I'm creating my own look. I've created it. And, you know, and I think what's really interesting now is that I'm really happy with the I've got a painting on the boil at the minute. I'm probably doing my best work at the minute, to be honest. You know, I'm doing my best work. So the book came out.
Musician, painter, fucking author.
Piss actor, yeah.
Not a dancer though, right?
But not bad dancer though, yeah. Bad mincer. But the first book came out like 16 years ago. But the second one, the first one was shit because it was all how big your dick is, how many cars you got. But the second one, which we did 3 years ago, All Things Remembered, or 2 years ago actually, that is a bloody good book because you know I look at it myself now and read it in third party and I'm thinking that's fucking funny. It's just a realistic viewpoint of, because it was written here. It was the first thing I did, you know, in Thailand where I had this, you know, I'd done Journeyman, and now I'm doing this book on All Things Remembered, which is the golden age, the return movement. If anyone's into all that stuff, you know, return movements where you kind of, I'm going the other way, mate. I'm fucking 54, so this is it. You're on your way out. Mm-hmm. What do you leave behind? What's the legacy? What can you quantum in this life? Right. You know, what's you know, what is present? You know, and I think the the really sad thing about us, like, is that we think that this, you know, and all of the blockbuster movies make us invincible and we're going to last forever. And I'm like, just teach us to be atheists from the beginning, and we'll actually be a lot better and get on with each other a lot better. Because, you know, my belief systems are not to be minced about on here, but they ain't. Whatever it is, it can't be quantum within this tiny frame of something which is ultimately that way and infinite. So, you know, the idea of writing that book was really beautiful, because it doesn't read like it's a Goldie's written this book. It reads like this kid went through this stuff, but not linear. It goes up and down and sideways and backwards, and it's a bit like
a Guy Ritchie movie.
Yeah, probably. No, but I like the way that it reads like, you know, like when Dave Chappelle did his stand-up and he said, I'm going to tell you 3 jokes, and before he leaves the stage he tells 2, and you think, where's the 3rd joke? And, oh, before I forget, the way that he weaves that comedy into real life is what the book's about. The book kind of, it's got all these things that there's no full stop with me, but they make sense if you stay there long enough. And it's a really interesting experience that I went through, coming here and dealing with that.
Fucking hell, nice. And isn't it funny that over here, have you guys watched 848 or whatever it is on his George Floyd thing? It's really fucking good, man. Really, just the way.
Oh no, I heard about it. Yeah, the George Floyd thing. Yeah, I just got the up with a lot of people on that matter. That was a really sticky one, because I think what I think was sad about that is this one of my pals just decided to post this porn clip of him, and I'm like, do you think he's any less of a man now that he doesn't deserve to get? Oh, he deserves to get strangled because he was tricking out for some gear to get high, and you got him in some homemade porn movie that you got him in. I mean, what, you think he's a less of a man now, and he should be strangled? And I thought it was a really very bad taste how you could try and kick the man when he's fucking down, will you? But when you drunk, pumped up geezers are sitting outside a Churchill monument, going down there with an intention, and they just get hammered and fall about like idiots, and we have to be carried out by the brothers. So they jog on, mate. I'm part of that. But I grew up in punk. I grew up in England. I grew up in all of that diversity. We had it in the 80s. We had it in Thatcher. We had that stuff all the fucking time, and it's just you know, a constant thing. So part of being here, like your man just said, is, you know, I don't watch the news, mate. I really don't. You know, I take my kid to school, and she has a maths lesson in the forest, counting trees. You got white feet like Bilbo Baggins. That's all that really matters. I'm kind of like, you know what I mean? I'm really enjoying especially being down here. I love it down here. But the George Floyd thing, I mean, I've heard a lot about that, but I'm trying to manage just getting our kid on the right track, schooling and everything else. I mean, politics in Bangkok.
Yeah.
You don't mention it.
Yeah.
Stay away from that.
Spaghetti Junction, man.
Stay away from it.
Complete
Yes,
Spaghetti
exactly.
Junction. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Stay away from it. But music. I mean, I'm going to look at some local stuff. I'm still newbie. We'll look at what the next year brings. But I think you guys should go and look at the gallery, really, because
we are.
I'm there on the 4th of August. I'll be there.
Right.
I'm there on the 4th of August for a few days. I might do a couple of bits in the old space. And
you DJ in there as
really.
well?
No, I'm playing in Samui.
I'm
playing in Samui at Chi on the end of the month. No, listen, Bangkok's done. You don't play D&B here. You know, D&B here is dead. Forget it.
Yeah.
And when it did exist, it was in a small room and it was nice, and that was it. And I think the band one. I think it was Glow was the best thing we had. Best one. And 808. If anyone can remember 808, that was the club 808. Dave used to run 808. That was fucking amazing. That was. I mean, we played like 4 or 5 hour sets in there.
I've seen Seth Troxler at Glow and a few others. Sorry, go on, Paul.
See that you're down in Charing Krung. Have you heard about the Bangkok Island?
No.
It's not that far from your gallery, man. It's just down the road from your gallery, Charing Krung Road. Just near, there's a big temple there, Wat Yanawa, and it's an old barge. Yeah, it's an old barge. And
is it the guy that's got the barge and a rave on it?
Yeah, Yuval.
He asked me. He came to the gallery, and he kind of they kind of came at it like they kind of came a little bit like, yeah, play on the barge. It's like, but the guy that bought them there
Yeah.
was, oh God, that's
Was it a gay guy? Yeah.
you know what I'm gonna say? Yeah, the gay guy that came in the gallery, and he's like, yeah, tell me about the nudity. I'm like, next thing I know, I'm talking to my mate, and he's got his fucking kit off in front of the paint. I'm like, he's got his kit off. He's like, that's what he does. He does it everywhere. I'm like, okay, fucking Kurt Liedermeyer. So he's got his kit off, and then he's sent the picture through. And he's got a picture next to the train with his arse hanging out, and I'm like, okay. He brings them down, but bless him. But he brings these guys down, and they're going, yeah, man, like, come on the barge. I'm like, I don't want to be naked and leave my keys in the, you know what I mean? Like, it's a little bit like.
I tell you what, though, man. I'll tell you what, though, the guy that owns it is a good friend of mine, Yuval. He owns a hostel here, kind of, bohemian, kind of hipster art space.
Okay.
And the barge is awesome, man. It's a cool art space, cool music venue. Like for this Sunday, for example, they've got they're going to have a half pipe on the boat. There's like skateboarders and stuff coming in, graffiti artists and stuff. Loads of really good graffiti artists from around Bangkok are going to be doing like showings on the boat and then auctioning off their stuff for charity.
Oh,
so
brilliant.
That's a really cool thing.
So you can vouch for this fella because he just came a little bit like,
he's a good friend of mine. Yeah, he's a good friend of mine, man. He's a good guy to be in touch with.
Well, I mean, I'll check it out, but I didn't want it to be this thing where it was like all of a sudden I'm dragged into this thing and it's like Goldie MBE found with pants down with naked men on barge. You know what I mean? Like, whoa!
Well, they had last week they had like a gay pride event, so probably one of those guys is up there, yeah. But
that's all good. No, it's all good. I just didn't want to be in the middle of this thing that I didn't know what I was getting into, and I'm like, I just have to. You know what I mean? I was up there with the wife and the kid, and I want to make sure that it's all, it's all good. It's like,
You can't swim as well.
Well, this Sunday my band are playing, so I'm kind of hoping that people don't get fucking naked, like, yes, be up on stage watching it all,
You'll have to do a flea. You're the bassist. You'll have to do a flea, Paul. With your cock out.
Well, yeah, I'm not good enough, man.
No, he's a player. I toured with him, Flea.
Did you?
James Addiction. Yeah. Did James Addiction, and it was the comeback with Perry Farrell, and that I mean that's a whole other podcast, but yeah, spent 8 weeks with Flea, and
Perry Farrell's a trip, isn't he?
Oh, it's a trip, man. That trip, that was a trip. That's a whole other story that I can't even get into.
Next time, next week.
It's amazing, guys.
Awesome.
When I'm in Bangkok, I hope that you guys will go and see the space.
We will. We'll come on the phone.
Right.
We can somehow, I mean, I'm all open for stuff as long as it's cool and it's not intrusive in a way of, you know what I mean, and it works within what the ethos of what I'm trying to think, and I get that.
What's it called for people out there, Goldie?
Say again?
What's it called for people out there? The art gallery.
It's called Aurum Art Gallery. Aurum, AURUM, which is Latin for gold. Aurum.
Nice. Tied it all together there. Tied it all together. See what you did.
Clever boy. And that's why the piece says "True Gold on the Train." It's one of the boys. He's still got it. He just drops the can. He just gets it and he just drops it. So we just. That's Aurum Art Gallery on Instagram. It's cool. I'll be there on the 4th. I'm probably going to be painting, doing a little bit in there and a few bits. And I'm all up for looking at stuff and seeing what people have got. I saw a lovely piece up there. I was driving and I saw.
What was the name? sorry.
It was just it says Love Letters. Beautiful wall, man. Good style, man. That guy had. He might be called Love Letters. So if anyone knows this fella, great style, man. Good hand style. Might have been a visitor. But it's some great graph there, man. There's some. I mean, it really has got its own thing going on. Like it.
Yeah. That area is great, man. There's loads of great stuff there.
There's a bar by two, one from LA and one from New York. West Coast, East Coast, guys.
There's loads. There's a couple that have just closed down though because of the fucking coronavirus. So I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure what's going on in Charing Crown right now, bar wise. I don't know who's open.
Well,
Goldie, thank you so much. You've been fucking awesome, amazing.
Yeah. All right, mate. It's good. I'll see you guys I'm up there on the 4th, so be around.
We're going to be there. Trust me.
You do
We're
something.
gonna stop by.
Go like this, and you shake hands.
Like that.
Yeah, in real life.
Nah. We got to do this these days. You know, social distancing and all that.
Yeah,
crap.
yeah.
Yeah, the tide's got it right. See, that's why I've had no-
Anyway, God bless and thank you very much.
Bye.
And,
Cheers,
Bye.
Goldie. Have a
speak to
good
you
evening.
soon.
Thanks very
Peace
much,
out.
man.
Thanks for being a gentleman.
Cheers.
Okay.